Hey gang, it's your pal Rob again, and I'm back on the playground for another new painting for your eye holes. It's been a busy month of May, and I'm working on some new content while doing a few new pieces. You'll see them in due time. Today's piece is again related to quantum entanglement, and I'll also be exploring some mixed media with acrylic and alcohol-based markers. I learned some things along the way, which will help in future projects. If you're having fun on the playground, please do the things. I also have a bunch of new prints available at RobsMentalPlayground.com, so please check those out. The Patreon and social media are also Rob's Mental Playground, as always. Alrighty, people have seemed to enjoy this piece, so let's get to it. I need to grab my markers, paint, and brushes. Hey, now let's get to painting. Come on. Let's begin by laying down some base colors. Because I'm painting on gessoed paper, I'm already aware that the surface will warp. That's cool, as I can simply go with those wrinkles in how I develop the initial color layers. This becomes very apparent as you see the paint washing off the paper in some areas. I lightly dab paper towel in certain spots to prevent further movement. This also allows much of the pigment to remain. You may have noticed that I'm avoiding adding paint to certain areas of the piece. There's a reason, and we'll get there later. Now that I've got some good shapes and color layered up, I push the lights and darks, introducing some highlight tones like yellow and orange into the mix. I also use a dry brush to create some wavy light effects that I like for these space paintings. I now begin to create some abstracted, geometric planetary sections with marker. I learned a pretty valuable lesson here, because the markers are alcohol-based and we're eating at the gesso and underlying paint. In the future, I will add an isolation coat layer before doing this. I add some line work outside of the planetary shape as well. I will do this on both sides, corresponding to the line angles to create a greater sense of movement. With a wacky looking dual mask I created, I start adding thin acrylic over the marker. This is going to increase the depth of this planetary shape, while also developing some neat textures. It's starting to look pretty neat. Now it's time to move to the other planetary section on the right half of the diptych. I begin by layering some lighter hues like white and yellow. This is to create a base on which the marker shapes will stand out. It also gives me a flourish-making opportunity. While that dries, I continue adding details to the left half with an emphasis on keeping the line work as consistent and crisp as possible. The left half of the piece is just about done. I add some more little details and highlight areas with a handy-dandy toothbrush before moving on to the final parts of the right half. I have a circle cut and ready to trace around with marker. You may be able to see a faint pencil outline. This is where our second planet will be. As I add more circular marker lines, the final form will take shape. After the lines are drawn, I carefully detail the base shape with some white to further accentuate the marker. To finish the piece, I add in some twinkles of brighter color, then sign it in the corner. I also had some frames handy for this one, which you'll see in the final image. Here's the final result. Do you enjoy the geometric application for the planet shapes? How about the color scheme and texture? If there's anything you'd like to see me try, please let me know in the comments below. This piece, as well as others, can be found at RobsMentalPlayground.com. Thank you so much for stopping by the playground today, and please, be kind to each other.